we go. All righty. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. That never gets old, baby. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much on the bottom line. I really appreciate it. Well, Jersey guys is in the house. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. Plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes or whatever it wants to be, or even longer, it's nice just to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level I got is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. Oh, Randy's here. All right, we're okay now. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way, next time we go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. And then finally, also in the description box below, there's 2 Facebook links. The top one takes you to my Facebook page. Facebook group. The second one takes you to my Facebook page, Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group. Basically, I say this in all my videos. Basically, my YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and my Facebook page, which I'll go over in just a minute, is it's all called basically the same thing. It's all called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. That way, basically, it dumbs it down for a moron like me. I don't got what's my YouTube channel called, the Facebook group called something different than the Facebook. It's all called the same thing. New York Giants, the Gridiron. What do we got? We're holding tight at 5,900 members. Anytime now, it's 6,000. Probably by tomorrow, probably by after the game's over with, after the Giants beat the Cowboys. It should be by the end of the weekend. It should be up around 6,000 members, but we're over 5,900 right now. Basically, what I do is after I get done going live here, I'll spend the next couple hours or so putting stuff in the group and in the page, which I'll be going over in just a minute. I try to get 10, 15, 20 different things in there every day. Now, the season's upon us. It's really easy. There's a ton of stuff to be able to put in there every day, whether it's a post, a picture, something's just showing some stats on a ball player, sharing a video, an article, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites now, by the way. There's a ton of stuff going in. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, if I have internet access, there's stuff going in there all the time, darn near almost 365. And you become a member of the group. Not only do I post stuff in there, but the members post stuff in here as well. So between the members, me and the members, there's a boatload of stuff in there every day. And in the second Facebook link, that takes you to my Facebook page called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. And it's the page. I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one who posts anything in there. But, it's the same thing. Once I get done going live, I put a bunch of stuff in the group, a bunch of stuff in the page. And it said same thing in the page, the video, post picture, showing some stats on a ball player, sharing an article from somebody. Once again, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, right, which are my personal favorites, right? And don't commingle with stuff. So basically, all the stuff I put in the page, I don't put in the group. Whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. I just try to keep them separate, right? So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, darn near almost 365. There's a ton of Giants information every day. But you can't please everybody, right? So I got my money back guarantee. So if you go to the group and you become a member and you go to the page and you like it and follow it, if you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All that stuff said and done. I'll tell you what, boy. I'll tell you. I hope tomorrow is just as great as it was today. Just on the college side, I'm a Notre Dame fan. Notre Dame won, and anytime, one more time for the hearing impaired, anytime Alabama goes down, it's a great day. It's a great day to be alive. Texas takes care of Alabama, 34-24. I can't stand Alabama. I hope they lose every freaking game this year. And they lost, so good. You suck, Alabama. You suck just as bad as the Cowboys do. But of course, even with Alabama have like 4 or 5 losses by the end of the season, and somehow they'll still get voted into the Final Four or something. I can't stand them. So hopefully they don't make it into the Final Four where they get a chance to win the championship. But I'm very happy for my son. He likes the Texans. Texas, the Longhorns. That's his college team. So I'm happy for him. So Texas takes down Alabama 34-24. All right, Alabama, number 3. Gotta love it. All right. Well, hey, Shane is keeping busy. He's not cleaning up a ton of cap space here, but he's getting a little bit here and a little bit there. Now, nothing, basically came out like I'm looking on like over the cap and spot track and all that, and I can't find anything. So I guess we know with Gano, it's 3 years, $16.5 million. There's a little over $11 million guaranteed, $2 million, I think, for injury guarantees. I think it was. So, but I keep looking. And, over the cap, spot track and all that, they don't have like the breakdown and all and everything. But you do know, especially Patty Train also mentions this too a lot, is that, the Giants are not going to redo somebody's contract or give them a contract extension or whatever, like in the middle of the season. Well, it's not middle of the season, but in the season, right? Without it somehow benefiting the Giants salary cap this year, right? So Gano has a $3.75 million cap hit, base salary cap hit this year. His base salary is $3.75 million. So basically, probably what Shane might wind up doing is maybe dropping that down, that $3.75 million base salary this year, dropping that down to like the minimum that they can pay him, and give a signing bonus. And taking that signing bonus and breaking it down over the next few years of the contract. So the Giants should save hopefully at least $1 million or so on Gano's contract, if not maybe a little bit more. Because the Giants only have, and this is what I can't say. Spot Jack said the Giants at 3.9. You go to over the cap, and I think they got the Giants at like 1.5. Very confusing. But so he should have saved at least $1 million on Gano, if not more. So that the Giants can use all whatever cap savings they can come up with. But he also, he's working on. He cleared some additional cap space as well too. So that's really good. He got Shane has been busy of late figuring out plans to clear more cap space beyond the 1.373 they currently have per over the cap. An amount which is the third lowest amount of cap space in the league, and a number that doesn't yet reflect any cap savings the team might have gained from extending kicker Graham Gano to a 3-year deal on Friday. So it was 1.37. That's what over the cap has. So almost 1.4. But then like whatever they got from Graham Gano, that should boost it, maybe about 1.4, should be close to around 3. I'm guessing. after the Gano extension. And then, according to ESPN, Schoen and the Giants have converted the base salaries of Bobby Okereke and defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence to signing bonuses, which will result in additional $1.55 million in cap space. So you got Okereke. His base salary is 1.9, while Sexy Dexy, who just signed his new contract this year, has a base salary of 2.25. Both players will see their respective 2023 base salary lowered to $1.08 million, which is the minimum for players with their respective accrued experience. So you can't drop it down any more than that. But, you know what I'm saying? They took basically Okereke's 1.9 base salary and dropped it down to 1.08. So they turned that into like a signing bonus. So here's your money right now, and they can break that up into basically, I guess, 4 years, the signing bonus, because for Okereke, because that's the length of his deal. And he did the same thing, I guess, with Sexy Dexy here. It says the additional cap space included the projected savings of the Gano deal should give the Giants around $5 million of cap space, plenty to work with to make standard operating moves each week. So that's pretty a lot of. Let's see, was this from Patty Trainer? It's like Patty Trainer. Yeah, Patty Trainer. Yeah. Yep. So between, Gano, Okereke, and Sexy Dexy, right? We got about $5 million, which is probably like the least you want to have, going into the season, right? And we got all guys in the practice squad, injury reserve, and we got the 53 and all that. But they get like an extra $5 million. I mean, probably $10 million would be really ideal. But beggars can't be choosy sometimes. So the $5 million, that's good. Unfortunately, if they're going to like make any kind of some type of big splash play or something like that, that doesn't leave you a lot of money. Like say somewhere along the trade deadline, if they only have like say 3 or 4 million or whatever left going into the trade, doesn't leave you with a lot of money. But at least it's something. It's some operating. It's got some maneuver. They can do some maneuvering if they need to. Now, of course, some of the things is what they probably didn't want to do was like maybe touch Leonard Williams' contract, maybe touch Adoree Jackson's contract, stuff like that. They possibly could have, because those guys got some, obviously Leonard Williams is $32.26 million. I mean, whew. And then, of course, also there is has almost $6 million in dead cap money next year, which is not ideal. But at least it's a lot better than what we're paying Kenny Golladay this year. He's got like about $14 million in dead cap space. So we're just trying to clear the Golladay debacle off the books. But as of next year, we got almost $6 million in dead cap space from Leo the Lion. Now with Adoree Jackson, do we have any money, dead money? Yeah. He's got almost $3 million in dead cap. So between Adoree Jackson and Leo the Lion, we got about $9 million in dead cap money next season. So I once again, those two guys, don't know, obviously what the plans are for those guys going forward. As same thing as like with a few guys. Obviously, the other one is Xavier McKinney. You don't know. Are they going to, what plans are there? I just watched the game, Oregon versus Texas Tech, about to finish. Yeah, that's why it's. I tell you what, it's college football. Isn't it? Just love it. I mean, there's just so many games on, and now of course, like nowadays, around now, you got like anything like out in the West, like if USC's playing Oregon or whatever, those games are starting around now, because like out here, it's about 10:30 here, it's 7:30 out there. So you got any late games out there like Boise State and all those teams, Arizona and UCLA and Fresno State and all, so that's the beauty of because college football, it's like starts at like 12 o'clock because Notre Dame started at 12. Usually don't have too many games start at like 11 or anything like that, but a game started at 12. And I said, I mean, then you get the games that, start out in the West Coast around maybe 10:30 around here. So you got from here, maybe you got like from anywhere from 12 o'clock to like 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, that's, whew, and it's not like, the one thing is, it's not like with the pros, I mean, you got games start at 1, games start at 4 and 4:30. You got a couple of, but then you got the Sunday night games start at a certain time. Monday night starts at a certain time. But I mean, with college, it's like 12 o'clock. One game starts at 12:30. Some start at 1. You might get something that starts at 2:30. Something. Notre Dame started at 3:30 last week. You get the games starting at all different times. And I mean, there's so many sports channels and networks and all that covered. It's amazing. It really is amazing. All the coverage that they have. In Notre Dame, there was what was it? There was a weather. They had like lightning. So the game got delayed for like at least an hour. I'm going to say it was torrential downpours and lightning strikes and everything. So they put other games on as well. There's a ton of games on. One of them they were showing was Coach Prime, Colorado. They beat Nebraska. So now they're 2-0. So I mean, just ton of games. Yeah, I mean it's a great time of season. Great time of season, especially as I like it because like in the beginning, it's like everybody seems to have a chance. You know what I mean? Especially everybody starting off 0-0. Everybody's But then of course as time goes by, toward the end of the season, you got whatever Western Kentucky who's 1-9, taking on TCU who's 10-0, or I mean somebody's as time goes by, the teams just some of them just start But in the beginning, it's like with football, NFL, right? Starting tomorrow, everybody's got Super Bowl aspirations, right? Whether they make it or not, that's But even the first couple weeks, even if you're 0-1, even 0-2, I mean, I forgot what it was, but once you go 0-3, the chances you make in the playoffs go down, significantly. It's really tough. Making the playoffs starting 0-3, but everybody's got a chance. Everybody starts 0-0, and like, because I watched it has been the Direct TV Sunday Ticket, but now it's on YouTube. But so I, when I watch all the games, it's you look at every team like they all have a chance. Every team's got a chance, but of course, like you get like 3/4 of the way of the season, and the Texans are like 2-12, or it's like they stink, But it's always so exciting, I said, especially the first couple of weeks, because even if the teams that lose, they're 0-1, okay, I mean they can rebound the second week and maybe take off and all of that. But it's always so exciting, so exciting. I mean, the beginning of September, it's just absolutely freaking love it, absolutely love it. All right, the Giants. Let's see here. They did elevate. All right, the one they got Taiwan Jones, the special teams ace. They elevated him from the practice squad. So I have this because we got the injury report here. So now that's what's kind of telling you here, right? Gary Brightwell was limited, but it says game status. He doesn't have a game status. So basically it looks like he's good to go. Lawrence Cage, he had an ankle. He was limited in practice, but he has no game time status. So it looks like he's good to go. You got Cam Brown, special teams, right? You ain't get much out of him for the, on defense. He's questionable. DJ Davidson with his knee, he was limited in practice. He's questionable, but that's not so much of a big concern because let's see here. I mean, the Giants, DJ Davidson's kind of down on the, I mean, we still got Sexy Dexy, Leola Lyon, Nunez Roaches, Ashawn Robinson, and Jordan Riley. I mean, DJ Davidson, if he did get in or whatever, it'd be minimal playing time. So we're not, obviously we wish him a speedy recovery. You don't want nobody being injured, but he's just questionable. So it still might mean he might play. Questionable, obviously, is better than doubtful. Then goes, we got Cordell Flott. The hamstrings are starting to pop up a little bit here. We got Gio, Javarius Owens, hamstring. Darren Waller, hamstring. Cordell Flott, hamstring. So, but Flott and Owens are both doubtful. And then Wan'Dale Robinson with his knee, he's doubtful. So, chances are, they're just, with Wan'Dale, he was looking pretty decent in some of the clips that I saw like about a week or so ago. They're just giving him a week or so just to probably help ramp up. So especially if he doesn't play tomorrow, they're just giving him enough time. But probably what it wound up being was, because he was on PUP, they could have kept him on PUP, and then he would have had to miss the first 4 weeks of the season. But it was probably came to the point where it's like, well, he might miss the first week, maybe the first 2 weeks, but he should be back by week 3 or week 4 or something like that. That's why they, activated him. That's why he's on the 53. If they thought for toward the end of preseason, it was like, well, he's on PUP, we might want to keep him on PUP. He might take him probably about 4 weeks or so to come back. So, because they took him off a PUP means he should be ready to go probably by week 3, if not by week 4 at the absolute latest. Because if not, they could have just kept him on PUP because he has to miss the first 4 games anyway. So taking Wan'Dale Robinson off a PUP, even if he doesn't play this week, he might be back next week. He might play next week, or maybe if worse comes to worse, right, which wouldn't be bad, let's have him active for the 49ers because we can use all hands on deck against the 49ers. I'm not saying, we're going to walk into the Cardinals and we're going to walk all over them and beat them. We should beat them, but if we don't have him active against the Cardinals, okay, but let's have him active against the 49ers because we need all hands on deck there without question, all hands on deck. I said, Cordell Flott, Javarius Owens, and Darren Waller. Obviously, he's questionable. But let's see here. The reason why, but if you'll notice, the Giants only got 3 tight ends. What we got? Teddy's in the house. I got away. Every home team losing this week. Wow. Uh-oh. Can you see if McCarthy has a bad year in Dallas, Jerry? Coach Prime. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. I don't. He'd have to waive some because some of those guys. I don't know what Coach Prime is making in because some of those guys they make some money. Some of those guys make more money than they do in the NFL here. They get paid. I think Belichick's making like $20 million a year or something like that. But some of those, I don't know what McCarthy's making, but some of those coaches in the NCAA, they make some good money. I don't know what Coach Prime's making Colorado, but that would be interesting. That would be interesting. I'll tell you what, the fanfare would be going freaking bananas there, especially because obviously he played for him, right? He played. Let's see. He played for him in I don't know, was it 92 in it or just 93 for the Cowboys? And then in 94, he went to the 49ers, and the 49ers won the Super Bowl. So he won like back-to-back Super Bowls with one with the Cowboys, one with the 49ers. But, I could definitely see it. I could definitely see Jerry. Oh, yeah. Harbaugh, too. Saban makes more than half the – oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I best Harbaugh. I can see that absolutely. Well, if some of these guys, if you want them, you're gonna have to pay up. I don't know what Kelly's making at LSU to take him from Notre Dame to get him down to LSU, but he's got to be making some good money. But yes, well, Saban deserves whatever Saban gets. He deserves. Let me tell you, frickin' what. He's at Alabama in the top 3-4 every year for it seems like frickin' forever now. Really, it's like I'm just like getting sick of him and like Belichick and like with Brady with the Patriots, after a while you just get really just freaking just sick and tired of just you know what I mean. I just can't stand Alabama. Absolutely can't stand Alabama. I can't wait till they start say because I mean Saban's up there. He's been there. Saban actually was with Belichick with the Cleveland Browns back in I don't know when it was 94. Before they went to the Ravens, so I can't remember what Saban was. I can look it up, but he was one of the I don't know defensive back coaches or something, whatever. But he was with Belichick. So I mean, they both about the same age. So I'll be happy when both those guys retire because I mean, it's nice to have Belichick here and it's nice to have Saban, but I'm just get a little sick and tired of him. Defensive coordinator, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, but I'm saying they both got to be. I know Belichick's 71, I think it is. So, I mean, Saban's got to be right around there. I mean, are they going to coach till they're 89? I mean, are they going to just basically die on the sideline or something? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's their guys' lives, I guess. I mean, don't you think somewhere along the line you would want to retire and just I guess this is enjoying life. I guess. I don't know. Some guys, I guess, they don't know what to do outside of football. They have, I don't know. It is what it is. It's just when you get up there at 70, 72, 73, whatever. I mean, I don't know. Do you want to get up at 4 o'clock every morning and work till 11:30 at night and get 2.5 hours sleep for 6, 7, 8 months straight? That's okay. That's what it is. Saban's a little younger, okay, but he's got to be darn close to 70. I have a few interests outside of football, and I don't exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just so demanding, especially a coach. I mean, it's so demanding. I mean, it just wears on you. I mean, you'd think somewhere along the line they'd want to like step down and just I don't know. I don't just want to say enjoy life because everybody enjoys different things. What I mean? But some of these guys, I mean, Belichick's, he was with the Lions in 1975. He was just like an assistant coach with maybe the Lions. He was making like $50 a week or some crap like that. So he figured since 1975. What I mean? So like in a year or two, he'll be like 50 years in the NFL. 50 years in the NFL. I mean, I guess that's their life. I don't know. That is what it is. We got started in Baltimore, then Detroit, special teams coach. Oh, the Colts. Yeah, he was with the Colts, and I think it was 75. And then then he went to Detroit, and didn't he go to Denver too? Did he go to Detroit and Denver? $25 a week. Yeah, that's a heck of a way to make a living, baby. Yeah. Oh man. But the nice thing here is that, of course, that we got Taiwan Jones, right? They elevated just him because now the Giants on the roster, obviously we got KJ, we got Bellinger, and we got Waller. Now, obviously, we got a couple other tight ends on the practice squad, right? Jackson and Jones, J and J, right? But they didn't elevate either one of those guys. So now, if Waller probably wasn't going to play, I don't think they'd want to go into the game with just two tight ends, Bellinger and Cager. So that means they would probably, so if they elevated Tyree Jackson or Ryan Jones off the practice squad, then that quite possibly would have meant that maybe Waller would not be participating in the game. But since they didn't, they just elevated one guy, right? Taiwan Jones, that just once again straight up goes and shows you that, he's going to be in there for special teams. The special teams route. I mean, it's just Joe. Like, why Taiwan Joe? He's 35 years old. Why did we sign him? Signed with the Giants less than 2 weeks ago. He's a premier special teams player who, while listed as a running back, has made his living on special teams. He played more than 300 special team snaps with Buffalo in each of the past 2 seasons. For his career, he has played 2,158 special team snaps, and he's only played 133 snaps on offense. And he's 35. So, I mean, so that goes to show you why he was elevated. Taiwan is a pro. It's his 13th year in the league. Anytime you call his name, he's ready to go. And that's why he's here. Special teams coordinator Thomas McGay, he said a few days ago, he's a professional special teams player, and he knows that. He knows his role. He knows exactly who he is. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, he's been doing it for 13 years. So, because we just brought him up, so that's why it seems pretty good that that Waller will be participating. So that's good. I don't know if they're going to try to limit his snaps, Waller, or what, but at least he'll be participating, which is good. So pretty much we have almost all hands on deck for the game, which is fantastic. Which we really couldn't say last season because like Ojulari, I think, and Kayvon were injured in the beginning. So, but it looks like between offense and defense, looks like we're pretty much good to go for at least the first game anyway. Now, the Cowboys, they got 6 guys. Jordan Lewis, the cornerback, he was full participation in practice. He had a problem with his foot. But Tyler Smith, he's doubtful. He has a hamstring. He did not participate in practice on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So he's doubtful. So, which could be good for the Giants because, especially as Paul Dottino was talking about, their especially their offensive line, their depth. Like they got their stars. Okay, they got some their starters are really they got, especially in some of the position groups, are very, very good. But however, behind those guys, right, some other positional groups are a little weak as far as depth, and offensive line is one of those. So if Tyler Smith can't go, that's a definite plus because we're talking, obviously now we're talking tackles, right? So now we're going to have advantage, either Azeez Ojulari or Kayvon. Advantage there. It's going to be huge. Sam Williams, the defensive end, he's questionable. He has a foot. But he said Friday he was full participation, so he looks like he should be good to go. Donovan, well, they got 2 safeties here. 2, right? Donovan Wilson, he's had a problem with his calf. Now, even if he can go, right? Calf, lower part of your body. That obviously anything in the lower part of your body hinders your running ability. And if you're a safety and you are the last line of defense and you got to go up against and try to prevent like maybe a Hyatt from running past you, good luck and God bless, brother. All right. So he's a calf. He did, Donovan Wilson, he did not participate in practice on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. He is doubtful with a calf. Once again, does not mean guaranteed 100%. Without a shadow of doubt, he is not playing, but he is doubtful. If he was questionable, but doubtful is, especially with a calf, and he did not participate in Friday. So then Tyron Smith, an ankle. He was limited in practice on Thursday and Friday. He's questionable. So they got like two tackles. One is doubtful, and the other one is questionable. The guy, or Tyron Smith, man, that guy, very, very, when healthy, very good offensive tackle. But he's questionable. So I mean, so they're going to have, they might have a backup there on one side, and Tyron Smith is with his ankle. Now, once again, it's the same thing with the ankle, and you got to try to, anchor yourself down, and you got a bad ankle, right? Or you're trying to have somebody not run around you, or you're trying to anchor down while somebody's trying to bull rush you or whatever like that. That's tough. That is certainly tough. And then Malik Hooker, there is no designation. It just says questionable here with an illness. It doesn't say Doesn't say if he participated in practice or not, but he just says illness here. Questionable. So the Cowboys, they don't have a full, it's not like they have a ton, right, of injuries to worry about or whatever. But, a couple of those tackles, very interesting. Waller's injury might be, that could be two. Oh, yeah. I mean, what I'm saying, it's like what Dable was saying. They asked him, this was Friday, right? So you figure out your guard situation or whatever? And he's like, yep, yes, we did. And he was like looking around, waiting for somebody else to ask a question. And so, I guess the same guy, I said, you want to divulge who your starters are? He's like, no, good. You know what I mean? So keep them guessing, I guess. I don't know, if there's a huge difference, why you didn't want to divulge, if it's Bredesen or Zudu. I mean, but I guess, if you don't have to, I guess you don't have to do it. But same thing with Waller. Yeah, get him thinking. Get him thinking, right? And then you unleash the dragon, right? You unleash release the Kraken upon him, right? So that could, could be just playing around with him. I mean, it just seemed weird because, it was like you never saw nothing. All Waller, nothing. And all of a sudden, one day in practice, boom, hamstring. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But I said, at least the one good thing is that we didn't elevate one of those guys from the practice squad, one of those tight ends from the practice squad. So hopefully Waller should be good to go, which is good because he's one of the new toys, and we certainly want to see him out there on the field without question. Let's see here. Now, this also goes to show you here that the Cowboys make some roster moves. Cowboys entered the weekend thin in the O-line with just 3 backups on the roster. Richards, Bass, and Edoga. I'm going to say Chuma Edoga. So, that's not high quality H2O right there, might I add, right? That's not, And it says, with injury concerns to Tyler Smith and to Tyron Smith, it makes sense to they elevated Brock Hoffman from their practice squad for added depth on the offensive line. So, if they're backups, right? Asim Richards, TJ Bass, Chuma Edoga, and they elevated Brock Hoffman from the practice squad. So, if they start, they start getting a little dinged up on the offensive line, they ain't got a heck of a lot of depth there. And, as we know, us Giant fans, right? Not being able to stop the run last year, especially against the Eagles, or not being able to stop the pass rush from like the Cowboys, or having a hard time with the Eagles. We know it's won and lost in the trenches. Now, you can have all the phenomenal weapons and shiny toys and everything you can have, but we know, right? And, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty. That's the one nice thing that you got to tip your cap to, and you got to thank the Eagles and the Cowboys for. You got to thank you very, very much. They're showing us, hey, dude, you want to play with the big boys, you want to dance, you want to go to the Super Bowl, maybe you want to, you got to start spiffing up the trenches. It's won and lost in the trenches, right? It doesn't guarantee you're going to win, but if you're weak in the trenches, we couldn't stop the Eagles run last year, right? And it had 70 sacks. And the Cowboys, of course, the Cowboys for the longest time have always had a good offensive line. They're starting to get, obviously, they're starting to show their age a little bit. Zach Martin's not a baby. He's not a baby anymore, right? Smith's not a baby anymore, right? They lost a couple of the guys. So their offensive line's getting a little weaker, but their defensive, especially their edge rushers and all that, it's won and lost in the trenches. And I'll tell you what, the Cowboys are, their offensive line, if they start going down, they're and unfortunately, one thing is like with Smith, almost every year the guy seems to get injured one way or the other. Let's see here. Jerry Jones here says, I think this is a deep is as deep a team as we've ever had, Jones said. I don't know. I think he smokes more and more crack every year he gets older. Is it deep of team we've ever had? Okay. All right. Yeah. Don't go back to your Super Bowl teams in 92, 93, and 95. This year, this is the deepest team they've ever had. Okay. Let's see here. So it says, I think this is as a deep a team as we've ever had, said Jones, which, given the incredible rosters assembled in the 90s that led to winning 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, that's a mouthful. There's no question it's going to be the hardest 53 cut that we've had in years and years. So I guess they're talking about them cutting down their final 53. But yeah. I said some of the spots. I mean, it said it's also kind of like, same thing with like with the Eagles. A couple of the spots the Cowboys have, maybe they have some good depth at and all. But I mean, you look at some of them, and especially you look like with the Cowboys, right? You know what Micah Parsons is going to want. Bosa just got, what is it, $35 million. I mean, what Parsons is going to want, right? I mean, he's going to want probably at least $35 million. ABC Lamb, what's he going to want? I mean, I'm not going to say he's going to maybe get 30, but he's probably going to want at least 25, right? They were talking about some type of possibly a contract extension with Dak, maybe. So, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to give it to him, but I mean, there's some money there. So, so when that's the one problem is when you got some star power there, you got a few really, really good players, they're going to cost you a lot of money and they're going to take up a lot of your cap space. But I mean, it's a long season. 17 games is a long season. They got a weak offensive line. That could really do them in. Really do them in. That's the same thing with the Eagles. The Eagles got some positions there. You look at, their defensive front is just phenomenal. They could probably lose 38 guys in the defensive front and just keep bringing more guys in. But like safety, their inside linebackers are very, not the strength of their team. Therefore, also meaning that if their starters go down and get injured or whatever, the backups are going to be even worse. So it's a long season, long season. All right, so then we got now the thing that got me last year. All right, is this the first game? Yeah, it's the first game. I mean, the first game, and we couldn't. I ran the ball. The Cowboys had 176 yards rushing on third. Now, this was the one thing because they had Cooper Rush. I think they really needed to. It was almost 50-50. He dropped back. He threw 31 passes, Cooper Rush, and he ran the ball 30 times. So basically 50-50 between the run and the pass. And I think that was obviously by design, having a backup quarterback in there. They didn't want him going in there and trying to pass the ball 40-50 times. But, I mean, we knew he was passing the ball. We still gave up 176 yards rushing to him last year. And what do we have? Last year, and once again, same thing. We gave up 169 yards rushing in the second game against the Cowboys. Although they ran the ball 39 times for 100. So basically, they averaged a little over 4 yards a carry in the second game. But, thankfully, this year, we did so much to help the run. And also now we have the rotation in there. So when Sexy Dexy's in there and Leo the Lion's in there, you're going to get better quality snaps from them based on the fact that they'll be fresher because we have Nunez Roches and Ashawn Robinson in there should do a decent job against the run. We'll have a Karake who's probably never going to come off the field, right? So we should do a much better job this year as far as stopping the run. And, of course, now they don't have Zeke, who's more very north and south kind of guy, right? So we really buffed up that inside interior defensive line and the linebacker position. So we should be a lot better than we were last year. We're going to have, let's see here. I think Kayvon played in this game in the first meeting here. Let's see here. Kayvon, yeah. But he had Oh, actually, okay. Azeez and Kayvon both played in the first time that we played them last year, but they were not. Ojulari had one tackle in the first game, and Kayvon had one tackle too. So they no sacks, no quarterback hits, or nothing. So this year they'll be a lot healthier. So I definitely think with Simmons, a healthy Kayvon, and a healthy Azeez, I definitely think this year we're going to do a much better job as far as getting to the quarterback, which we were not. We didn't sack either Cooper Rush or Dak Prescott at all last year. Not both games, no sacks. I think that's going to change tomorrow. We're going to do a much better job as far. I'm not saying, certainly not going to say we're stopping their run, but we're going to do a much better job than we did in the 2 games last season as far as stopping their run. Now the question is, of course, Dak is going to be playing. They got their complimentary receivers. They got Ferguson, they got Gallup, right? They got Cooks, they got ABCD out there. So they got their full complementary of receivers, and they got the quarterback. The big question is obviously on defense is, how are the babies, right? Banks and Trey Hawkins III, how are they going to hold up against Gallup and Cooks, right? Because you be interesting to see, is Adoree just going to be in the slot no matter what, or is he going to follow ABCD wherever he goes? It's going to be interesting to see. That's the big question mark. How is Banks and Hawkins going to wind up hanging in there? You might see some rookie mistakes here and there, but will they keep them? Will they be negligible? They be they're going to give up some receptions. Hopefully, the Cowboys don't go hog wild on our as far as throwing the ball. I think we should do a decent job, but don't expect a no-hitter. Don't expect, Banks to shut down whoever he is, and don't expect Hawkins to pitch a shutout either. So there's going to be some learning curve to go on there. Now, obviously, on the offensive side, we got a fresh Saquon, right? As our offensive line, should be a little bit better than it was last year. Daniel Jones should be a lot more comfortable in the same system, right, that he had last year. Same system, should be more familiar with that. Saquon, fresh, right? Waller, Bellinger, we got a lot of nice shiny toys out there. The biggest concern on there would be our offensive line. Holding up. Can we hold up against their stunts and twists? And can we find Micah Parsons when he's coming, wherever he's coming at? Is he coming up the middle? Is he coming in off the edge? Is he gonna wind up wrecking the game? That's the big question. So the question is on the defensive side, how are our 2 rookie cornerbacks going to hold up? And on the offensive side, how's our offensive line? Because our offensive line, I think we gave up 8 sacks, I think it was. Let's see here. First game. You got sacked 5 times to -27. Then we got sacked 3 times. So we got sacked 8 times. But, of course, that doesn't include all the quarterback hits and everything. All right, so let's see here. Quarterback hits. That doesn't have a total here. Quarterback hits 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7. And, of course, this doesn't include all the sacks. So you got 7, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Looks like they had like 19 quarterback hits between the 2 games. 8 sacks and 19 quarterback hits. So that's going to be the big, that's going to be the big thing. Can Michael Schmitz, is he going to be able to pick up the stunts and twists and all? How is Evan Neal going to hold up against Lawrence, right? Or whoever they got sending over there? This would be a nice litmus test. That how much better did he get from last year? Right, because Lawrence may not, obviously Lawrence might stunt or twist or whatever around, and he might come in through the guard, right? So they're going to send somebody around Evan Neal. So it can be interesting to see. So that, I think, obviously they got Gilmore. But as I said before, he's in his 30s. This is his fourth team in 4 years. If you were that freaking phenomenal still, I mean, the guy's a lockdown corner. So, let's get rid of him, and give him to another team. And then they're like, yeah, I tell you, this guy's good. Woo! Let's get rid of him, and then he goes to his third team in 3 years. This guy is Gilmore. Oh, I tell you what, fantastic. Let's get rid of him. Yeah. I mean, he did pretty good last year, but he's getting up there in age. But sometimes experience can, you can make up for a lot of lack and maybe your loss in speed and all that with some experience and all. With Diggs, I've seen, you can see, look on like a lot of YouTube videos and stuff like that. He stands in the box and he swings for the fences, right? If you whatever, right, go 5, 6, 7 steps or whatever and turn around and make it look like you know what I mean? He's trying to jump the route. He's a pick sixer, right? So you can double move him, and especially a Hyatt or something like that. If Hyatt blew by Sauce on the side, Gardner in that Jets game, I mean, he can. Obviously, they're going to have to give him help over the top with Hyatt, but I mean, Hyatt's on Diggs. If they, if Hyatt runs, breaks down, right, and Diggs kind of breaks down too, and Hyatt takes off, I think it'll be game over there. I think he can blow. I mean, Diggs is very good in this, that, and the other thing, but I think he can very susceptible to some speed. Their safeties are very good, but as in the injury report, a couple of them are banged up. So it's going to be a real good game. I think, as I said, it's going to be. I think it's going to be very, very close. I got the Giants winning. I don't know if it's going to be, maybe, sometimes in the beginning of the season, the defense seems to have the advantage, especially now there's not a lot of preseason games. Our offense only played one series all season, all preseason. One series looked really good. Don't get me wrong, but we only played one series in the preseason. So there's you going against one another, obviously in practice and everything, but it's not like live bullets in the game. So it's sometimes it seems like in the beginning of the season, like the offense is always maybe a little bit behind the defense. So I got the Giants winning like 24-21, somewhere around 3 points. As far as like with the I don't know if it's still 3 or 3.5, but I would definitely take the Giants in the points. That's what I got. It's gonna be great no matter what. I wouldn't see it. I don't see anybody. I mean, unless there's a bunch of turnovers or just crazy stuff going on, I could certainly see the Cowboys winning this one. Absolutely. Once again, 27-24, 24-20, 20, somewhere around there. I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm just like thinking more like my heart than my head or whatever like that. But I got the Giants winning like 24-21, 24-20, somewhere around there. I don't know if it's going to be a real high scoring game, but you never know. It should be exciting though. But I'll be back. Probably what I'm going to do is probably I'll wind up going live maybe in the second half, maybe tomorrow. That way, instead of like going live all day or all game long, I'll be maybe in the second half. I'll go live, so I'll be live for the second half. That way, we can talk about the first half and we can wrap it all up in the second half and all that. So the game starts like 8:20, somewhere around there. So probably maybe around 10 o'clock. I'll probably go live, but I'll probably be sitting out my family room watching the game. So I'll be out there on my couch. I'll probably have the computer set up on like a table or something like that or whatever while watching the game. So I'll probably go live maybe around like 10 o'clock or so tomorrow. So maybe somewhere around maybe the same 10 o'clock, maybe 10:15. Maybe whenever the second half starts, somewhere around there. So that's what I got. So I got, I'm not I'm a betting guy, but it's just my pick. I got the Giants by 3 or 4 points. Hopefully we start the season off on one. Tell you what, boy, we got to beat, without question. We got to beat. If you want to be be the best, you got to beat the best. Between these 4 games, we got to win at least one game. We got to start off with at least one between the Eagles and the Cowboys. We got to win at least one, and then hopefully next year we can win 2, maybe 3 or so, and start building from there. But it's been so long. Well, we beat the Eagles a couple years ago, but I mean last year it wasn't pretty. And of course, then the Cowboys have beaten us 16 out of the last 20 times. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous, But we got we got to start somewhere. And if we can beat the Cowboys tomorrow, that would be huge. Still got a long way to go. It's still 16 more games. Obviously, anything can happen, especially if you got injuries involved. But we got to beat the Eagles or the Cowboys one time, without question. And I think I'm not too thrilled with the way the Redskins are, especially with maybe the quarterback situation's not really. Chase Young, I mean, I think he's out again. I mean, it's like I came to talk. I mean, these guys, how do they make it through college? And they can't even. I mean, I really feel bad for Chase Young because he's never on the field. Can never get the guy on the field. Yeah, and didn't pick up his 5th-year option. I mean, obviously because the guy's never healthy. But I wonder who's going to pick him up next year. I mean, I couldn't even imagine how much Chase Young's going to want. I mean, he's always injured. Poor guy. But so I got the Giants. Take the Giants about 24-20, and I'll be live again tomorrow, maybe around 10 o'clock, 10:15, somewhere around there. Somewhere maybe the beginning of the second half, I'll be live there. So that's going to wrap it up here. Jersey guys, as always, buddy, good talking to you. We'll be back again tomorrow. See you around 10:15. I'll be we'll take the second half of the football game. We'll bring it in for a land, and hopefully we can talk about a Giants victory. We started last year 1-0 against the Titans. Hopefully we can start 1-0 this year against the Cowboys. There'd be no better way than start the season than beating the Dallas Cowboys and starting off 1-0. All right, so guys, whoever spent any time checking me out live, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Greatly appreciate it. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.